Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic: who ruined your family Christmas this year, and what did they do? My manager, who told everyone that they had to work today and gave himself the day off. On a brighter note, I remember my first day working retail on Christmas Eve. Store closed at 6 p.m. and store staff was only supposed to go home when the store was spotless and returns were empty. We expected 8 to 10 p.m. as that's how shifts would normally go. But store director went home at 5:30. So at about 6:05 the manager left in charge said if Big Boss Man wanted store perfect he could have stayed himself. Told everyone to go home and have a Merry Christmas. And that she would take any flack herself. Rumor was said she told him to quote shut your Greek ass the fuck up, and fire me, dipshit. But you're too pussy to do it, cause you know you need me. Her adamantium balls were apparently fortified as she already had plans to quit. She got a better job early January and Big Boss apparently learned as new boss to replace her was actually pretty chill and reasonable. For about 2 years until we got a new stickler Greek asshole for a Big Boss later. Rumor was said she told him to quote shut your Greek ass the fuck up, and fire me, dipshit. But you're too pussy to do it, cause you know you need me. Hell yeah, what a mudlass. I'd just not show up out of protest. You're entitled to religious days off, aren't you? And anyway they can't fire you for one missed day. Unfortunately, the living asswipe told everyone that if they called out he would issue a disciplinary write-up which that ass uses to deny pay raises, bonuses and promotions. My dad cheated on my mom for the 4th time and she left him, so this Christmas will be interesting. So ho was forgivable, but not a 4th one. First 3 are always free. It rhymes, therefore it must be law. It's Christmas morning and I can hear my nephew, who lives in the apartment downstairs, throwing a temper tantrum because he thinks his sister got larger gifts from Santa this year. His dad: are you joking right now? You better be joking. Say just kidding. Oh my god, tell me he's kidding. It's 8 a.m. If it makes you feel any better, one Christmas my little brothers went through the Argus catalog to figure out who's had the most spent on them. If my kid did that to me I would throw everything out. I used to date a guy where the family would sit together after a birthday party and calculate how much everyone spent on presents for them. My sister throws similar tantrums if other people get more than her for Christmas. She's 25. Edit: to all the people out there who are happy with nothing but some socks and time with loved ones, thanks for restoring my faith in Christmas. That's what it's all about. Plus, I can almost guarantee that we're having a happier Christmas than my sister, who spent the morning emailing Dyson because the $600 hairdryer her mom got her didn't come with the accessories she expected. You can't make this shit up, folks. I got more than anyone else this Christmas and I felt bad for getting so much, even as half my presents were legit just socks, which I am eternally grateful for. EW. She sounds gross. Christmas got cancelled due to the parents having an argument in the morning. Told everyone not to come. Spent Christmas with my cat. Eating Uber Eats. Oh man, that sucks. Hope your parents work things out. And anyway, if things were heated between the two it wouldn't have been fun going anyway, an argument probably still would have started. There's always next year. My wife. A couple weeks ago she broke the news to me that she had an affair at the beginning of this year, and wants a divorce. Hey, as someone who went through infidelity and divorce. If you need someone to talk to or just to vent, DM me. I'm happy to try to be supporting in this really tough time. What a douche. My wife. She called the simple ring my daughter received from her boyfriend a trash ring because she wasn't wearing the nearly $700 class ring we had just given her. I have never been so disgusted with my wife. Bruh, to her own daughter's face. Yes, and in front of her, my wife's family. Yep. In front of many other people. My mom would do shit like that all the time. Before I moved out, I had a part-time, minimum wage job. Didn't ask my parents for a dime to buy my girlfriend, now my wife, a birthday present. I bought her a robe, a Harry Potter cup and baked her a cake like the one Hagrid baked for Harry. She loved it. My mom sees it and says, oh wow, is that all you got her? You can do better than that. Made me feel about an inch tall. Edit: although this may not come as a surprise, my mom was actually diagnosed with bipolar disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, and a plethora of other serious mental health issues. She was offered help but chose to deny it because I don't feel like myself. She slowly pushed me away and now it's probably been 2 years since I saw her. I moved 450 miles away, and it feels amazing. Holidays are hard because I miss the rest of my family, but they chose to take her side. They fear her. She will make your life hell if you make her mad, and that's very easy to do. I don't have to live like that though. The guilt of knowing I'm missing valuable time with my grandparents is crippling at times, but I always remind myself that it's for the best. Life is so much better without her. I'm proud of my decision though, and for anyone going through the same shit, get away. Get far, far away. Change your number, make all social media private and disappear. They will never change and you don't have to deal with it. I wanna say this as a married person myself, it's okay to let her wife know when she is being a cunt. If you won't, nobody will. Edit, also vice versa. Marriage should be equal lol. Edit 2, thank you for the medal, kind stranger. I want to preface this with a simple wisdom from my uncle. Love the hell out of your so, they are who you have for the rest of your life. Help them by limiting the mistakes they could make and they will help you by limiting some of the mistakes not worth regretting while you get older together. Merry Christmas. Yep. My wife calls me on my bullshit when I deserve it. I'm thankful for it too. I can be ridiculous. Myself. Ate takeaway curry last night and got food poisoning, so I've spent the entire day at home hugging the toilet bowl. On the plus side, my abdominals are gonna look fierce tomorrow. So there's that. Gym owners hate this one simple trick. My mother got belligerently drunk, locked herself in the closet, and claimed she was going to end her life. Then she vomited and my dad and I were trying to drag her into her bed. She then proceeded to get violent with me and kicked me in the face. Reading this makes me feel a bit better. I'm in a similar situation, but it's my dad. I'm sorry you're experiencing this too. It's a terrible feeling, especially when the person won't recognize they need help. It'll get better someday. Last week, FedEx delivered some of the gifts I'd ordered, but instead of placing them on my porch, they left them behind my vehicle in the driveway. I subsequently backed over them when I went to get groceries. Edit 1 to try and answer some common questions from the comments. Holiday not really ruined, just a frustrating turn of events. No kids, indoor-only pets. Long, private drive separated by several hundred feet of woods in each direction from neighbors. Packages were small enough to pass beneath the bumper of the truck, and positioned close enough that they could not be seen from the rear and side view mirrors. I live in a remote enough location that porch pirates are a non-issue. Edit 2 I appreciate the condolences, but I urge everyone to remember that the people delivering these packages are going through a lot right now. I can't imagine the stress of working during a shipping season of unprecedented volume, let alone making it through a year like this, when nearly every tiny bit of normalcy we experience falls on them to deliver. A lot of these folks are probably seasonal temps just trying to do whatever they can to make ends meet during these trying economic times. If I was responsible for carrying the happiness of hundreds of people on my shoulders every day, I'd probably do something like this myself. They are just things anyways, and things are replaceable, and fleeting frustrations will fade to fonder memories that we can laugh at down the line. Happy holidays to all, and blessings to you and yours in the coming year. Not only did that person fuck up your packages because they were lazy, but they fucked over all the other people who put in time and made an effort to get your packages to you. This is the worst one I've read. All the divorce stories and bratty kids pale in comparison. Fuck FedEx. I've worked for both FedEx and UPS. Of the two, UPS has a union and they treat their people much better. FedEx usually looks better, because that brown of UPS isn't very flattering, but the UPS drivers also look that way because they've been doing that job for years and they know their trade. When I was a driver helper for UPS, we'd frequently have to help lost FedEx and DHL drivers find their way, and the only house we couldn't find was one which was half a block down a street perpendicular to the one their address said it was, and the house itself was down a hill, so you couldn't even see it from the road at night. Since they were near the end of our route, we couldn't find their house for 3 days until they put their Christmas lights up and we figured out there was a house there. Their house number was something like 2505 Bravo Boulevard, but their house was actually 2 lots down on a side street, on Alpha Avenue, and all the other houses on Bravo Boulevard jumped from 1,800 and to 2,400 and to 2,600 and to 2,900 and, with no 2500Z whatsoever. And all the Alpha Avenue numbers were different, too. Those ran 500 to 700 or something like that. So we went out there, and on one side of the intersection there was the 2400 Z of Bravo Boulevard, and on the other side there was the 2600 Z, and all the houses on Alpha Avenue ran from 500 to 700, so it was like a whole chunk of house numbers on Bravo Boulevard just didn't exist. And her house was 2 lots down on Alpha Avenue, so to get to her house, you had to pass 602 and 604 Alpha Avenue and a bunch of trees. Then there was 606 Alpha Avenue on the other side of the curve. All you could see of her home in the dark was a jet black mailbox with a bush around it. It's almost like they were trying to hide their house, and anyone who missed that curve was going to drive straight off the road into their lawn. I don't know why that one house had different numbers, but it was so weird because we could not find that house, and the homeowner was so upset with us because we couldn't get her husband's shirts to her. I'm sure that's not the first time she's had trouble getting things delivered to that address, but on our end. We spent half an hour at the end of shift on those first 2 days, looking all around to see where her house might be. We must have driven right past it at least 8 times and never saw it because it was dark and down a hill. We never even saw their driveway, the hill was so sharp. Her house was on a curve in the road and her whole lot just dropped away down a hill. Tiny little house, surrounded by trees. So we'd go up and down Bravo Boulevard, house by house, looking for this 2505 house, and of course we wouldn't find it because it wasn't on Bravo Boulevard, so we'd give up and mark it to deliverable, and then the next day we'd get it right back on our truck with a note from customer service saying that the homeowner was very angry with us because as far as we were concerned, her house didn't exist. But they finally put some Christmas lights up, and on that third night we saw the lights down in the trees and we were able to finally find that house. I think if they hadn't put Christmas lights out, we might never have found it. It was crazy. Funky, misleading house numbers, invisible house, it's a miracle we ever found it. Of course, that was back before smartphones were ubiquitous, so I'm sure things would be easier these days. TL, doctor, this house was so hidden, we didn't find it until they put Christmas lights on it. I ordered a jersey for my brother October the 28th. It was supposed to be delivered by FedEx on November the 2nd. It's now Christmas and still has not been delivered. I called FedEx and they said they're handing it off to USPS and it isn't their problem. The tracking says it's still a state away and hasn't updated in over a month. I'm obviously a little annoying. Edit, I'm actually annoyed but I'm also probably annoying. If it truly is to be delivered by USPS then it's most likely just sitting in a warehouse somewhere. I've read that they are so behind they have huge bins of packages waiting to be sorted.